Alright, what's up everybody? This is Ingram. I'm one of the MindCrafters, and today we are here with another episode of our little Direwolf20 Let's Play. Now, this one's gonna be only me, and the reason for that is because we recorded an entire episode, got all the way through it, went to edit it, and realized that none of the audio had actually recorded. So, you just get me today, and we're gonna do something positively ridiculous. The goal for today's episode is to set up our mob farm, and we are going to do it in probably one of the most ridiculous ways that you have ever seen. I hope nobody else has done it this way, because it's pretty ridiculous. But what we're going to do is, by the end of it, we're going to know how to do some basic P2P tunneling, and we're also going to have some quantum tunneling. So if you haven't watched our applied energistics tutorial yet, this will give you a little preview of the goods, as it were, and we'll show what's about to go down. Alright, so this is our mob room, and the plan for today is that we're going to take and have this like see-through glass floor. We're going to be able to look down at everything spawning down there, but then down in the middle itself is the area where we're going to put actually all of our spawners. And if we actually, we can go down there. There's nothing running yet. Just a wee little bot, boop, which I can't kill. So actually, we're going to do in the middle here is we're gonna have our let me break a hole because we're probably gonna have to come up here anyway, but we're gonna have our Ender IO spawners that we made in a previous episode, and they're gonna be actually controlled by stuff up top. So we're gonna have basically we're jumping like 10 blocks, and we're gonna use 2 quantum tunnels to do a 10 block jump, which totally makes sense and is not at all a waste of time or a waste of resources, but we have so many resources that it doesn't actually matter. So the first step in creating our quantum tunnel, actually I think I'm just gonna put this, I was gonna try and get a little more clever, but maybe I'll just put it, maybe I'll put it in the ceiling so that we can kind of see it. That'll be kind of cool, because I originally was gonna have it in the floor, but I wonder if no, we'll put it right here. So to make this, you're going to take your ME quantum ring, and you need 8 of them. You put them in a pattern like so. And then in the middle, you put the quantum link chamber. And once that's all together, it's going to make this thing that looks like this multi-part setup. And inside this quantum link chamber, we're going to put quantum entangled singularity. And so we have to actually make that. And let's just go, we're gonna do the same thing. I'll do it down here. So literally the other one's like right there, we can see it. But we're gonna do this because this is fun. So another multi-part block here, create that, and then we're good to go. So the way that these work is, if you know anything about quantum mechanics, which I guess not many people might, because it's still a field that we're learning about, but the idea is that there's a theory about 2 particles, if they're entangled, the theory is that no matter how far apart they are, what you do to one will happen to the other. So Algorithm X2, and he was making this mod, and all the guys that are doing it now, I think Fireball and all those guys, but basically the idea is that they're piggybacking off quantum entangled singularity. So to make one of these, I just have a singularity, which I think we started like way back in episode, I don't know, 3 or 4, when we put our auto crafting or our AE network in, and it's just a ton of compressed matter that gets all, whoops, I'm just looking for a random hole here. This will work. So let's go ahead and, okay, here we go. We got our singularity, our ender dust, our tiny TNT, and when we light this little guy, the tiny TNT just makes like a smaller explosion, and I think that explosion can actually be turned off. But now you'll notice we have 2 quantum entangled singularities, and so those are going to be a pair, and what we do to one will happen to the other. So that principle is what's going to drive our quantum tunnels here. So if I put, and you can name these, it's probably advisable to name them because they all look the same. Let me see if we have an inscriber set up here, but I don't think, let's see, hiding in one of these cubbies is, I was going to say the old setup, but that's all right. Let's see if there's any ones that we can use now. Not really. That's fine. I was just going to name it, but we don't need to. Let's cover this hole back up. Sometimes we get lazy when we redo a base and we don't actually get rid of all the things in the base. But let's see. So we'll just put, a quantum entangled singularity in here. And then down in the other one, we'll put the other half of the singularity. And those go in the link chambers. Gotta be careful they don't fall off here. Okay, so that one goes there. So now these two are linked. They don't have power yet, but they're actually linked together. So when we power them both up, the stuff that we pipe into one will actually be accessible from the other. So the basic goal here is that we're going to have our mob farm down here is going to be killing all the mobs and getting all the items. Those items are then going to go into an interface over here, which will be collected in the quantum tunnel at the top. I told you this was like a ridiculous setup, and we weren't kidding. We can actually set that up now. So what we have, I wonder if I can, let me just grab this. This stuff right here that we're using too, there's a tutorial coming out for this on Wednesday from the MindCrafters, and it is called Fluctuating Item Duct. We're actually going to use a couple of the stuff from the new Thermodynamics mod, which is actually part of the COFH core. It's like a rename of some of the other ducts. You know, if you've noticed, they've been missing for a while, but they came out with these new ones, and they're basically awesome. So what we'll do, oh, this is going to be off center. It's going to kind of drive me nuts, but that's okay, because I don't think I can pull off. Maybe. Let's go like this. Okay, so this is going to be our interface. So what these are, these fluctuating item ducts, if I hover over it and shift click it, you can see it transfers items and redstone flux. Now it only transfers 2000 RF per tick, which kind of sucks, but it's enough to actually power our grinders. And if I go ahead and get our grinders, got this guy, whoops, this and this. And these are grinders that we used for other stuff. That's why they're like partially configured. And we'll just, I think we gotta face them. Oh man. This is why you leave your magnet on. Okay. Turn this thing back on. Because the floor here below this mob farm is open, just in case anything spawns below it. I don't want, and we don't want all the stuff roaming around our base. So if we go ahead, these things automatically face away from where you're angling them. So if we look, the grinder part is going to be on the outside. So we'll just go and do the same thing for this one. And then we'll fly underneath and go over here on the other side and place these two grinders down. Now, MFR grinders, if you'll remember, act in a 5x5 space in front of them. So just by using those four, we're actually able to cover this whole room, which is, I think, 4, 5, 6, yeah, it's 9 wide. And the reason that we made it 9 wide is because the Ender IO powered spawners that we're going to use have a 3 by, actually it's actually a 7x7, but they're in the middle, and then 3 blocks on either side is where the mobs can spawn. So we're going to do that. Okay, so there's like some residual power on that line. That's fine. And then we're going to take this thing, again, there's going to be a tutorial on this coming out on Wednesday. We're going to put the resonant retriever in this little nodule right here. Boop. And what that's going to allow us to do is when all these things grind the mobs and get all the items, they're going to come through this duct very slowly and then go into the ME interface. And the ME interface is actually going to then put it into our ME network. So that's kind of our goal. And then one of the tricks or the caveats about these quantum tunnels, you know what? I'm going to move this and put it inside this wall. Yeah, let me get the singularity out of there. So one of the ways that these work is you can only put cable connecting to, I'll show you in a second, but cable connecting to the larger of the quantum link blocks. I'll show you what I mean in a second. They won't connect to the corners, which kind of stinks because sometimes you want to connect to the corners, right? Let's see. Oh, crap. Yeah, this is one of the bad parts about having this set up like this. Where's our... No! There it is, there it is. I see it. Where's the rest of them? Let me put this thing in my inventory. Where's my magnet? It's got to be on my hotbar, I think. Oh, I don't know where. I'll have to go make more. Oh, there they all are. What? How the heck did they get way over here? Kind of ridiculous. Okay, there's our missing quantum ring. So, let's find the side of our mob farm. Where the heck are we? Okay, here we go. Let's put these all back. And then put this back in here. Okay, so the cable can only connect to these giant parts. It will not connect to these corner ones. Kind of stinky. So then what we're going to do is we're going to branch off here with a dense cable. And right off of that, we're going to do a regular. So anytime we use orange cable, it's for P2P tunneling. And the reason for that is because you just need to have some sort of systems so that you know what in the world's going on. So we will take this. Whoops. Let me do one more thing. Before we do that, we're going to have a P2P tunnel. So we just made these P2P tunnels, right? Just regular P2P tunnel. And we're going to come out of there and connect into our interface. Okay? So that's going to then tie this interface, excuse me, into our P2P tunnel network. And then we're actually going to have, that's going to be a lot of cabling. I wonder if I should put this back on the bottom. Let me go do the top first. So this little setup right here that we have is like an example of what we're going to do. So let me just draw some arrows on the screen for you. So these first two are just RF tunnels, and they're going through a regular ME tunnel, which compresses them down into just one channel. Then we're going to expand that one channel on the other side, and then re-expand those two RF signals on the other side. And what that lets us do is control the stuff on the other side directly through our ME network with these RF tunnels. So we're going to set that up to be configurable based on the level of items that we want to generate, and we're going to have our ME system automatically generate items for us, which is going to be awesome. Okay, so let me just clear out the cruft here of my inventory. And what we're going to do up here is we're going to have another ME tunnel come off like this. And this one's going to branch off. And this one's actually going to contain all of the they're going to have like a bunch of level emitters. So this is going to be cool because we're going to be able to monitor all the levels of all the items that we have. And let me just branch off. I kind of wish I had a dense cable for this. I'm going to have to use something else. I'll explain what this this trash can's doing in a second, or in a minute or two. So on the bottom here, we're gonna have a bunch of P2P RF tunnels. Okay. We'll do 5. We'll do just one row down here. And then on top of that, we're gonna have something generate signals. Oops. Like this. This can be a little hard to set up. Let's see. So I'm putting down level emitters, and what is going to happen, let's say if we have one of our mobs that we're going to spawn is the skeleton, and a skeleton is going to generate bone for us because we need a lot of bone meal for stuff. So we'll say this one, level emit when our levels are below or equal to 500. Okay, so as soon as we power this network up, that thing's going to automatically turn on because it's saying, hey, I don't have enough in my network to supply. I don't have 500 bone in my network. So turn on. That signal is going to go into this RF pad right here. That RF pad is going to tunnel through these quantum tunnels and then down into the bottom of our powered spawner that we have right here, this one. Okay, and that's going to basically allow us to remotely configure it. Now, we're only doing this like 10 blocks away, and we're only doing that because we kind of want to be able to see what's going on in our mob farm. But you could, for example, you could have this actually running in a different zone. If you had like wither skeletons only generate in the nether, depending on what mob spawner you're going to use, so depending on what technology level you have, you could actually shift this whole setup into the nether, have all your mobs there. That way, if things start running around, they're not running around in your base. It doesn't really matter. You can put this anywhere. We're just quantum tunneling like 20 feet down, but you can do whatever you want. All right, I'm getting dry here. Hang on. Get a little water. All right, so now we're going to tie in this whole network, and I'm just going to cable anchor these because I don't want them to connect to anything else that I do. And I have a conversion monitor. I'm going to put that right here, and I'm going to put a piece of bone in there. And it needs to be online. But what that's going to let us do is we're going to be able to see how many bones we have in there, how much glowstone, how much ender pearl, how much paper, because we can do a death tome. I think I have the death tome one. And we'll be able to see what's going on. And eventually it'd be cool to have like a little light, like maybe sticking out of the top. Oh, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if we have any lamps. We're gonna run out of channels, but I wonder if I have, let's see. Let's see if I have any lamps. We can do, oh, I got these ones right here. Yeah, let me tear down this demo really quick. So what I'm gonna do, I must have forgot to put that entangled singularity in. Yeah. Let me grab this. So this is only gonna, all right, this is gonna be massive overkill. But I'll just demonstrate so that we can see when this thing turns on. Let me just do this. And then configure this guy to the same exact thing. So obviously this is not what you're going to want to do, but we'll just do this right now so that we can watch what's actually going to happen. And let me just cut. I'm just going to cut this network out a little bit. Nah, we'll leave it for now. Let me get some thick cable. Let me get some dense. Ah, sweet. I do have dense brown cable. All right, so I'm going to come out of this tunnel with some dense cable. And the reason for that is because we're going to need all 32 channels that can fit on the dense cable. So we're going to isolate. You see this bottom layer is going to be an isolated, because these smart cables can only carry 8 channels. So we don't want to flood any of them with extra channels. And then we're actually going to even use RF. Let me put this right back here. Okay, so this is gonna be where our RF, we're gonna connect it to the mob pit channel. It's gonna receive power, and we have that turned on already upstairs. And then what I'm gonna do is I have an RF tunnel right here. So we're gonna use the RF tunnel to actually transmit power downstairs too. We'll just need to jump start the tunnel itself, but once it's jump started, we'll be fine. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. We have power hooked up. We have our monitors. Oh, we need our storage. And let me just see if I have, what do we got for smart cable? Purple. Purple's our storage color. So we'll just kind of unceremoniously, I guess, come off of that with some storage. And then we're going to need, the last piece that we're going to need up here is an ME controller. And the way that I'm going to do this is not optimal. You know what? Let me just move this for a second, because I'm just realizing now that if we do it like this, it'll look a little more ghetto, but we can actually get more channels this way. So I'll have this guy here. That's going to tie everything that we're doing in together. And you see that the Texturepack can interface directly with the controller, so it's automatically going to pump out power right into that controller. And then the last thing we're going to do is, I don't really want, actually, I don't want this to connect. So we're going to come out of here, we're going to go up here, and then put our RF tunnel. Okay, and we'll configure those tunnels later. But so what we got going on now, let me just actually change this one too. I don't want anything routing directly through the tunnel itself, and the reason for that is if we do that, then the tunnel is limited to the number of, we'll limit the number of channels that we can do. Let me just put cable anchor here. Put our purple guy back there. We want the controller to dictate the number of channels. And we'll just leave this one because we need to we do actually need to connect at some point to the quantum ring. So here we go. Not the best setup, but we got our power attached. I mean our storage attached. We have our power attached, our controller attached, and now we have these things are actually going to be powered too. And let's just see, device offline. Okay, so the last thing we need to do, well, not the last thing, the next step is we need to give this subnetwork, because this brown network right here is actually a subnet because it's isolated by this P2P tunnel. So if we put a piece of quartz fiber and a piece of quartz fiber, and then I'll just use regular smart cable to bridge the gap, that's going to transmit power down into these devices, and they're going to be winding about a channel because we haven't actually connected this P2P tunnel to anything, which is fine. We'll do that now. Alright, so down here, if we connect this guy, we're going to use a memory card. Let me go back upstairs. Oops, it's a little hard to get onto that pad. Okay, so let me shift click to clear the settings. Then I'm going to shift click on this ME tunnel to grab the settings for that tunnel. And if I come down here and right click that, it'll actually load the settings, and you can barely see it. Oh, because it's not online. So we're gonna also bring power down here. Now here's a trick. Here's a trick with these ME cables that we have. These ME tunnels. So this is an ME tunnel, right? A P2P ME tunnel. This is a trick. I don't know that it's documented anywhere, and whoops, we found out about it completely by accident. But it is pretty legit, because when you're making these RF tunnels, or you're making RF tunnels, you need a I forget what you need. What's the thing that, the capacitor. You need to slap a capacitor on here. When you're making redstone tunnels, you need to slap a piece of redstone on the face of this ME tunnel. Or you can just make the first one, and then anywhere else, like this RF tunnel, I don't need to make another RF tunnel. I'd clear the settings, save the settings for that one, go down here, load the settings onto this tunnel, and watch. See how it says P2P tunnel ME? As soon as I load the settings, boom, it converted it to a P2P tunnel for RF, which is pretty legit. So we're gonna actually use that RF power for a couple different things. I might need to pull it down. I might just need to pull it down a little bit, but what I want to do, oh my goodness, I should have made this platform a little bigger. Keep falling off here. All right, so what we need to do is we need to get the quantum ring to have its own power. And we're going to use this stuff because this stuff is amazing. This stuff is called cryo-stabilized conduit. Let me just... cryo-stabilized flux duct. So let me just move this. And where did that go? Right here. We'll get our P2P backbone cable and go like this. Because what we're going to need to do is be able to power everything. This stuff is legit because it only it has infinite. It only transfers redstone flux, but it transfers an infinite amount, and it looks awesome too. Check this stuff out. Oh, yeah. And okay, so I'll just slap an energy acceptor on here, and we're gonna connect directly to that. So this will give us power to these lines, okay? And these lines are gonna conduct power then to our grinders, and they'll also backfeed items into this ME interface, which is kind of cool. Here's what I don't know. Can we just do this? I haven't actually tried this. I don't think that connects. It doesn't look like it. So let's just we just need an energy acceptor, which I had provided. Let's see. Acceptor. Oh, we got a couple of them in here. Just slap. This system is like really ugly. Okay. See, we don't. What I'm gonna do is, if you notice that came online and then died right away, let me just do something here. Ah, crap. I don't have enough cable anchors. Let me get another cable anchor. Thank goodness for this wireless terminal. I got plenty. Sweet. Sweet. Okay, so we are going to put those back. And I'm just going to actually run a separate power line for all that. Okay. Let's see. We usually do power in pink. I don't think I have enough pink smart cable, or any pink smart cable. I guess we'll just use blue for now. Because I don't want any of this to connect. That's fine. It'll connect for power there, and then come down. And we're going to connect for power to these two things. So let me just fix this. We're going to use our quartz fiber again. Put that there, and then power there. Okay, and then the only thing we'll do is we have to jump start this network down here. So let's see. Tesseract. Crap. I have one somewhere. Let's just... Oh my goodness, I can't fit through the door. Too fat. You're too fat. Let's see. Oh, here it is. I was using it for my demo. Bloop. Okay. So we'll just jump start this puppy right here. Boom. We should see everything power up. And what that does is it jump starts the gate. It jump starts the quantum ring. And the quantum ring will build up power, and we can check, see how much power it's got. And once it has, let me see. Once it has power stored up enough to survive me removing this, then the RF is actually going to be able to come through this. You know what? I got to reset that. Oh, this friggin' door. Gotta be kidding me. You know what I should be using is my travel anchors, but the captain doesn't like them and he rips them out on me all the time. Let's see. Get my memory card back. And we need to reconnect those RF tunnels. So grab the settings for this guy. I probably could have just used the same settings that I had to save before, but I just didn't remember what the last one I was on. RF tunnel. There we go. And if I yank this, let's see what happens. Yep. There it goes. It'll keep itself up. Okay. So, freaking A. Oh, because you know why? I forgot to put the quantum entangled. Oh, okay, this is changing right now. This travel anchor's about to get put there. Fall through this stupid door one more time. I could just rip the door out. Wish I had my hammer on me. This thing's pissing me off. So let me just put the travel anchor right here, which is like an unsafe place to travel, but we'll call it Mob Pit. Okay, I forgot to put the quantum singularity in this. That's why it's not. That's why it's not working. Boop. Okay. Now let me jump start it again. And now I think we should actually see some power being stored in this thing. There we go, 16K RF. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So now if we yank this, it should stay online. There you go. See, it's still got. Is it still staying online? It always freaks me out with that crap. Yeah, okay. Its generation is higher than its usage, which is what we care about. Okay, and we're not using any channels because this is just power. That's why this one's appearing as blank. And this thing, if we look at it, is online. So everything's good. So we have power to the bottom here. All right, so now let's just get one of our mob spawners. Let's do skeletons because that's the one we've been kind of working on. And we're just going to put him right in the middle. He is going to need... I wonder if we just made it come out. We could do that, right? Where's that power line? We could just have this thing coming out. This is not going to be the prettiest. We might have to move stuff around later, but if we just have this come out like this, and oh, we can actually keep it from connecting so we're not accidentally using up extra channels. Okay, we'll put this guy here. Let me get rid of this and this. We're gonna put an ME tunnel now. So what we're gonna do is, I don't want to run separate lines and I don't want to use separate channels for each of those RF signals. So everything up here is gonna get piped into this. I'm pointing at my screen. It's gonna get piped into this ME tunnel right here. So if we take our memory card and save the setting, let me just clear them and do it again. Save the settings for that. Come down here and change those settings so that those two ME tunnels, the one we just were at up there and this one down here, are now connected. And what that's going to do is all of the channels that we're using here on this brown network are going to actually get compressed into one channel. So we can use up to 32 devices on this brown subnetwork here, and then have everything compressed down into just one channel. And the advantage of that is we're going to be able to fit a lot more stuff, because then we have 32 channels that we can pump through this cable right here. We can have a ton of spawners. I don't even think I don't even know that many mobs that can be spawned that way, so we definitely won't have a problem. And let me run some of this cryo stabilized sweetness out here. All right, and then yeah, we're definitely gonna have to change this around, but let's just do this one for now. Let me put some cryo because we're gonna need to power this thing, and we're gonna need to provide it with the redstone signal. Okay, so if we take one of these redstone P2P tunnels, slap it on the bottom, and connect it to our brown network. Okay, and then what we're gonna do, we gotta give this thing power. So let's get our blue network, which is our power network for right now. Really should be pink, but I didn't have any pink cable made. We're gonna branch off of this, and we don't want them to connect. Actually, they won't connect because it's blue and this is brown. That's fine. And we're gonna go bloop right there. Get this bad boy. What's he whining about? Claims he doesn't have a channel. Did I max out that brown network already? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh, because I need to poop. Okay. This can be a strange sub network. All right, let me all right, so let me just change. The reason that's happening is because this brown network is completely isolated, and it's actually too isolated. So I'm gonna rip this out. I'm gonna make this the brown network. Oh crap. I gotta go make some, let me go make some brown cable. So the reason that we were having a problem with that is, let me see if I have a dense cable recipe in here. Dense cable brown. Oh, sweet. That works. Okay. So I'm gonna have this actually connect directly to the controller. So that will give this brown subnetwork 32 channels, and I don't want it to go through the tunnel directly. I want it to go through, or the quantum tunnel directly. I want it to go through a P2P tunnel. So the way we're gonna do that is to grab our ME P2P tunnel, slap it on the side of this cable, and pipe it through the orange network instead. Okay, so what that's gonna let us do, we just gotta save those settings. Where's my memory card? There it is up here. Clear these out. Connect this. So now see all these devices have channels. That's perfectly fine. That's what we want. And this is actually online. We can put bones in there and lock that puppy. And now when we come down here, we just need to connect our brown network into the ME, and there we go. Now the device is offline. We got to give it power. Oh crap! And that's because this died again. You know, let me just leave this down here until we get this thing all set up. Have it powering. Okay, so here we go. We are connected. We're good to go. This thing is set to spawn and active with signal, and the IO is configured. Okay, and we have an octadic capacitor in here, so it can store more power. It can spawn them faster. It can actually save up quite a bit of power. So this thing has power, and all it needs now is a redstone signal. And I'm just gonna go ahead and, where's my memory card? Let me just make sure that these are connected. Grab this, go downstairs, connect that in, and let's see. Active with signal. Do I still have that lamp anywhere? put this, oops. Emit1 levels are below or equal to limit. So this one should be on right now. And this has a tunnel. And then the last thing we need to do is, since we reconfigured this sucker right here, we actually just need to connect our ME controller into the quantum tunnel. So let me just yeah, let me just do it this way. I have one more big fatty piece right here. Connect that guy right in there. Move this over. Again, we're not really designing the sexiest looking setup here. We'll put a storage drive in there. Okay, so now our controller is connected to our quantum link chamber. Our all these pipe signals are connected to. Oh, it's actually on already, so that's good. Our quantum ring is connected to all of our different signals here. All of our different signals are going to go up through this brown network into the quantum tunnel, out of the quantum tunnel down there into that brown cable, and then finally into the bottom of each of these spawners. And if I go ahead and let me just turn this spawner off for a second. So the grinders, as soon as they're done killing everything down there, and I'll show you, we'll set up, now that we have everything kind of here, let's do, oh, wow, I guess, I don't know what happened to my other spawners. We'll put the, let's just put the blaze spawner. And the thing that stinks for right now is these cannot be next to each other because this signal is too strong. It goes to actually more than one block. So if we go ahead and actually we can put it down here, that'll work. That'll actually work nice. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put a regular ME tunnel, okay, which is not what we want, but it's gonna change in a minute. All right, and then I'm gonna grab this cryo-stabilized fuel, cryo-stabilized flux duct, sorry, pipe that into the back. So this thing's got the octatic capacitor, it's set to spawn. I already pre-configure it to only be active with signal, right? Active with signal is what we want. Hey, get out of here. This is why you build it over a giant chasm. Okay, so then the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna configure this that tunnel to match. Let's do this one right here. So if I shift click this, I'm gonna say I want my level emitter to only go when my blaze rods. I need. Oh crap! I don't even have a blaze rod. Wow, I guess it's a good thing we're doing this then. So we'll just leave this one on for now because we need it to actually run. We'll fix it later. Put that there, conversion monitor. And oops, let me just go ahead and really quick grab this last, let's see, RF tunnel and redstone tunnel rather. And then if we click this, we can watch it change. Ready? P2P tunnel ME, P2P tunnel redstone. Boom, device online. The redstone signal up there is being applied, so this is gonna. I gotta get out of here. Those blazes are gonna come, and there they are. And if they see you, they're gonna come and try and get you. But if you're not in the room, I mean, we probably need to get some fans on the top blowing everybody down. But like this guy can't see me. None of those guys can see me, and so they're gonna get killed. And actually, if we put a crafting terminal, let's just get some access into our system here. Put a crafting terminal right here, and as soon as this puppy comes online, oh, hang on, we got to give it, let's see, got to make sure I don't get killed. Let's see, this thing's filling up, so we just need to connect. The last step is to actually connect our ME tunnels back because we kind of destroyed everything up there. So to do that, we go ahead and we can probably just, you know what, let's just put it on the same network for now. Let's go ahead and grab this guy and slap that right there. That'll connect our interface in, and everything just goes out of our interface. Perfect. And now if we go back upstairs without getting killed on the way up, if we look in here, here's all our stuff coming in from our mob farm. Sweet. So then we'll just take a blaze rod, put it in there, and so we can watch the progress. We'll put the blaze rod into our level emitter and say keep emitting until you have at least 500 and then turn off. And the bones will do the same thing. Let me just go into the back little access port here. Flip this one back the other way. So now it's going to spawn blaze and skeletons until our bones are up. As soon as our bones go over 500, it'll cut off the skeleton. And as soon as our blaze rod go over 500, it'll cut off the blaze rod. And there we go. There's our little spawner setup. So we did all that quantum tunneling to basically jump 10 feet. It's kind of fun, though, because then again, you can take this pod and stick it anywhere you want, like the nether. You can stick it in the end. It really depends on if there's any mods that have special things, or if you just don't want this crap running around your base, which is like you saw that skeleton kind of walking around. When you do an Enderman, I don't think they teleport out of the system. We didn't have that problem when we set it up, but some people have a problem where the Endermen kind of start just porting around. So this is great. You can have like a little command center in your base. Just grab some of these facades, cover this crap up. All right, so there's our basic setup. I mean, and when I say basic, I don't mean basic at all. I mean completely over the top, absolutely ridiculous setup, but it's kind of fun. And it demonstrates what you can do with P2P tunnels, quantum tunnels, and hopefully it made a little bit of sense. If it doesn't make sense, just wait for the tutorial. We are going to cover this in a lot more depth, in a lot more detail, and hopefully in a lot more logical, easy to follow out way. This has been the MindCrafters. It was only me today, guys. Sorry about that. Everybody else was tied up, and we had to do an emergency re-record. So if you like the MindCrafters, if you think we help you out, if you're enjoying watching this tutorial series or this Let's Play series rather, and want us to keep making it, please make sure to give us a like, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, leave us a note, tell us what you think. Tune in every Monday for a new episode of our Direwolf20 Let's Play. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay poised.